Alright, so the markets have been pretty crazy over these last 24 hours. And today we're going to go over the 5 major things that we need to talk about because we've seen the momentum across oil, crypto, stocks, and even safe haven assets. Now, first things first, let's have a look at Trump. Now, the biggest story and catalyst for today is what came from Trump after comments surrounding the war situation and possible progress toward easing tensions. Now, markets reacted almost immediately, and the cleanest move was oil. We saw crude oil drop aggressively because traders started pricing in lower geopolitical risk. And this matters very much because whenever markets think tensions could calm down, oil usually pulls back since traders expect less disruption to supply and less panic pricing. So what's important here is that energy has been one of the biggest inflation drivers recently. So if oil continues lower, markets may start believing inflation pressure could ease a bit moving forward. So this wasn't just an oil move, this affected the entire market sentiment. Now, moving over to Bitcoin, because this is where things actually get super interesting. So Bitcoin is currently approaching a very, very important resistance area. But at the same time, the structure on the lower time frame is starting to resemble a potential head and shoulders pattern. Now, it's not fully confirmed yet, but it's definitely something that traders are watching closely. So this heavy resistance level that we are currently coming to is a major rejection zone that we've seen in this area when Bitcoin actually dropped. Now, we are slowly coming up, back up to that area, so we might see another rejection at this level. Now, we are still making those higher highs and higher lows, which is a potential signal that we could be driving up to the 83 to 84,000 area. Now, these next couple of days will determine where Bitcoin is heading in price, so I'll keep you guys updated and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single thing. Now, if Bitcoin gets rejected from this resistance zone, we could easily see a larger pullback, and that would likely impact altcoins pretty heavily as well. So if buyers manage to actually break through this resistance level with strong volume, so it's this black line here with 79,339, then we could definitely see the market is talking about a continuation toward those new highs. Like I said, $83,000, $84,000 level, which would be a higher high and would actually make this move perfect. So right now, this is honestly one of the most important Bitcoin levels that have been tested within these weeks. And at the same time, stocks reacted pretty positively to the oil prices dumping. So tech especially likes lower yields and lower inflation expectations. So when oil is dumped, risk assets actually got a bit of relief. You can see we've got a very green zone here, and that is the exact 8 p.m. announcement that we got from Donald Trump about the easing war tensions around the Middle East. So what we're seeing right now is the market constantly reacting and shifting between fear and optimism depending on the geopolitical headlines. So one headline actually changes everything, and that is exactly what we saw yesterday. So that is why volatility has stayed elevated recently, because traders are reacting headline by headline rather than focusing purely on fundamentals. Now, gold also took a similar reaction. This is what actually most people are missing out. And gold is a safe haven asset. Now, gold started pulling back after the Trump comments because safe haven demand cooled down slightly. You can see the big push we had from gold. Now, this is actually a very good way to understand the overall market psychology. So when traders get nervous, gold usually rises, oil usually rises, and risk assets struggle. But when the tensions rise, oil can fall, gold can cool off, and stocks and crypto often catch bids. So all the markets are connected, and today was a perfect example of that. So right now the big question is what happens next. So for Bitcoin, if we actually manage to break the resistance, or does this head and shoulders actually play out? And now for oil, do prices continue lower, or was this just a short-term reaction to the headlines we got last night? And now for the broader market, everything now depends on whether these geopolitical developments actually continue or if the market is overreacted too early. Because right now, we're on one of those moments where sentiment can shift very quickly in either direction. So the next 24 to 40 hours is going to be extremely important. So it's coming up to the weekend again, and Trump, I believe, will have some say in what happens over the weekend, and will most likely feel that on the Monday to the new week. So I'd like to know what you guys think in the comments below. Does Bitcoin break out this very important resistance level, or are we going for a big correction first? Now, there will be a special link to Evedex down in the description below, which is a fully decentralized exchange. Now, there is no KYC verification, nothing like that. There's actually some very nice things you can trade on here. I use it for all of my trading. So you can trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, silver, oil. You can trade meme coins as well. So Fartcoin, all these interesting coins. So there's also events. You can win an iPhone 17 Pro Max, AirPods, Apple Watch, prize pools, and so many more interesting things. So make sure you check that out. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like, that'd be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you all in the next one.